While the perfect life of the $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase is far from perfect without his $1 Million title, he at least has Jody Dvorak back, the Memphis Millionaires, by his side tonight as he goes one-on-one against the Olympic strongman Ken PATERA.
And joining us here for this match, we got Snarl GM Hangman Tex Lynch in the house. So Big Tex, what brings you out our way?
I ain't here to see Jody Dvorak, that's for damn sure.
The next match is scheduled for one fall with a 15-minute time limit. Approaching the ring accompanied by Women's International Champion Jody Dvorak from Omaha, Nebraska, weighing 256 pounds, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase.
No, Tex, really, what brings you out our way?
Well, Dandy Don, it's like this. I'll be participating in the main event in a managerial position on behalf of my friend and tag team partner T-Dog Tomasio, who tonight is challenging Stefan von Berger for the Rage television title.
It's a big deal, because T-Dog is definitely ready, and Stefan von Berger, well, he's been running his mouth.
Yeah, he's another one to imply that T-Dog's some sort of wrestling rodeo clown, and quite frankly, I don't appreciate it.
And of course, Tex, I wish you and T-Dog all the luck in the world, but let's return our attention to the $1 Million Man, reunited with Jody Dvorak, the Memphis Millionaires, this evening for this matchup against Olympic strongman Ken PATERA.
His opponent, from Portland, Oregon, weighing 270 pounds, the Olympic strongman, Ken PATERA. It's been 9 months since Ken PATERA made his last appearance, on Snarl against Josef von Schmidt. He's definitely got all the power advantage over Ted DiBiase. But we all know the deal: if Ted don't cheat, then Jody Dvorak will just cheat for him. I'm sure Ted is tickled pink having Jody back at ringside.
Even having Jody Dvorak back at ringside isn't going to save Ted DiBiase from the Olympic strongman's power. Ken PATERA, of course, a power lifter with a bodybuilder's build rivaling that of Tony Atlas or Rocky Johnson.
Well, the $1 Million Man better be on his guard. If Ken PATERA gets in a good couple of bear hugs, this could be all over real quick.
So, Tex, how's Danielle?
She's doing all right. She's madder than a wet hen, but figured we'd take a night out on the town here in Greensboro and come by and see the show. Well, haven't been disappointed. It's been a great card so far, Myron.
It most certainly has, Tex, and this Legends Division matchup between Ted DiBiase and Ken PATERA proves to be no exception. And here we go. Willie Johnson sounds the bell. DiBiase swings, manages to get in one chop on Ken PATERA, has him up over the shoulder, deposits him headfirst against the turnbuckle. PATERA quickly back up again, takes a shoulder tackle, right back down to the canvas again. The $1 Million Man driving persistent, repetitive knees into the knee of Ken PATERA. PATERA rounded back up again, a hard right from DiBiase. DiBiase takes him down to the canvas again. Into a spinning toe hold here. Really working the legs of Ken PATERA, keeping him off his vertical base. The $1 Million Man up on the middle rope, turns himself around. Here we go. Elbow drop right across the chest of Ken PATERA, with Jody Dvorak cheering on the $1 Million Man. DiBiase drives a knee into the head of Ken PATERA. A chop, a left, a chop again. Ken PATERA reeling. PATERA trying to battle back, drives a knee into the midsection. A suplex from Ken PATERA. PATERA putting the boost to the shoulder of the $1 Million Man. And oh well, here we go. Ken PATERA going to work here. Spinning neckbreaker from the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase with a sadistic stomp of the face and a falling fist drop from Ted DiBiase. Ken PATERA counters back up on his feet. A hard right hand stuns Ted DiBiase. DiBiase counters with a kick. The $1 Million Man rounds up Ken PATERA. He's got him by the trunks, and here we go. Vertical suplex from the $1 Million Man. Ken PATERA in trouble here. And again, the $1 Million Man just putting the boot right to the side of the head of Ken Patera, doing it over and over again. The $1 Million Man displaying a seriously sadistic streak. Whoa! Since the return of Jody Dvorak. And now the only thing left on his target list is to regain the $1 Million Championship from the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Ken Patera really taking a beating here from the $1 Million Man. DiBiase rounds Patera up. Patera locks up DiBiase, whips him into the corner. Ken Patera trying to put out the fire here. Head first into the buckle goes the $1 Million Man. Hard right hand from Patera. Hard elbows to the side of the head of the $1 Million Man. Down he goes. Ken Patera regaining the advantage here. He is battered and bleeding, with the $1 Million Man in a submission center ring, but Ted DiBiase finding his way out and slipping out the back door. Ken Patera locks him up again. Has him up, but Ted DiBiase counters. Chop block to the knee, takes Ken Patera down to the canvas. Ken Patera in trouble again. DiBiase working the legs of Ken Patera again. DiBiase rounds up Ken Patera, whips him out over onto the apron. Ken Patera hangs Ted DiBiase up over the top rope. They lock up again. The $1 Million Man again working on the legs. That spinning toe hold on Ken Patera. He may be working towards some sort of submission down the road. Ken Patera counters quickly, gets back up on his feet, locks up Ted DiBiase. Has him up. Whoa! Backbreaker. Drives the knee right into the lower back of the $1 Million Man. Ken Patera does it again. Follows it up with a stomp to the midsection. And now into a submission on the $1 Million Man. Again, Ted DiBiase fighting his way out and escaping the hold. Jody Dvorak definitely cheering him on. A series of hard shots to Ken Patera. The $1 Million Man whips him into the far corner. Ted DiBiase rounds up Ken Patera, scoop slams him. The $1 Million Man on the middle rope, falling elbow right into the midsection of Ken Patera. DiBiase covers. 1, 2, and whoa, Ken Patera, despite everything, still finding his way out of the pin. Back on his feet, Ken Patera rounds up DiBiase, suplexes him. DiBiase charges, clothesline. Damn near took Ken Patera's head off, followed up with a stomp from the $1 Million Man. Ted DiBiase locking it in here. He's got the submission locked in. Ken Patera in big time trouble here. Ken Patera, he's tapping. That is it. The $1 Million Man picking up a submission win over Ken Patera.
Here's the time, 5 minutes and 8 seconds. And your winner, Ted DiBiase.
Well, the $1 Million Man. Oh, here we go again. Ted DiBiase pulling that $100 bill out of you-know-where after being involved in you-know-what with you-know-who. And oh man, this is absolutely unnecessary, disgusting conduct, unbecoming a millionaire for sure, Tex.
Damn right it is. You wouldn't catch me doing that. That's a waste of a good $100 bill.
I mean, it's bad enough you beat the guy. Christie's right. That needs to be banned. It's unsanitary too. That DiBiase for Wheeler for Wall picking up the win over Ken Patera. Hangman Tex Lynch, good luck to you and T-Dog Tomasio. A little later on in the main event with Stefan Von Berger for the Rage television title.
Thanks, Dandy Don. We're gonna do our very best. Folks, we'll be back with more RWL Rage right after this. Don't go anywhere.